I just recently saw Severance episodes 1 and 2.
Who are you?
Those are the only 2 available right now. Episode 3 comes out February 25th.
Let me out of here.
And I don't really have much to say about it that I haven't already said on this channel. So if you're wondering, let me guess, John, is it a show about reality not being real? Getting you to question your reality? Yeah! That's why I like it. And I just want to advertise it because I don't think it's gotten a lot of publicity or advertising.
Hey.
Hello.
5 questions.
It's a good show. Somebody compared it to Westworld. The way I said it is, it's like The Matrix meets The Office meets Total Recall, right? Although no action, it's not an action film, but the whole total, brain. Yeah, you get it. If you see the show, you know what I mean. But more on the Matrix side and more on the Office side. Definitely, I could see the Westworld aspect. No robots. Well, we don't know.
Nothing down there is what they say.
And the name Severance, it's kind of like a bland, generic kind of title. So I think when people see Severance, they think they've already seen it because there's like words that sound like it, like transcendence or words like that. If you do end up watching this and you haven't figured out the Johnny way of watching a show, imagine that this is somebody trying to tell you what the workplace that you work, if you work for the government or if you work at a corporation, like inside of a building, even if you're out in the warehouse and you interact with management, I think this show is trying to kind of spill the beans of the cult of the office workplace.
The erasers are mostly decorative since we don't have pencils. Finger trap is fun as long as you know how to use it safely, but it's really more about what they represent, how far you got in the file.
But more importantly, that we all complain about working, but we all voluntarily, every single day, voluntarily show up for work. Now, I know when we're told that, we hate hearing it, right? Because everyone's like, man, yeah, because I have bills. If I didn't have bills to pay, I would never go to work. But that's what it's showing, because the characters had to voluntarily submit to having their brains forget their life inside when they're outside and outside when they're inside. So they only know of their life inside of their job, and they only know of their life outside of their job. They don't, like, as soon as they walk in, something happens that they can't remember anything. That's on the surface. That's the surface plot, right? But and I know a lot of people will probably watch this for the surface plot and that's it. Shows like this, just in case, if you've been watching me for a long time, just in case you haven't figured it out, I don't ever watch a show for the plot. I know that as an author, I've spoken with other authors. Now, I just come out and say everything just as it is. I don't care what people think about me. Other people want to still be normal members of society and they want to be taken seriously. So they disguise the truths that they want to tell through fiction. Everybody wants to tell the truth about what they've seen. Everybody thinks, I should write a book about the things that I've seen. I should write a book. Everyone says that. Everybody's got a cool life. Everybody's seen something they think other people don't know about. People have sworn to secrecy. So everybody wants to write and they want to express what they know, but they're going to do it fictionalized. So they're going to create characters. But most of the time, especially if it's a good show, those characters are based on something they experienced. Now, a writer that's been around a gazillion years, they know how to just create characters. But if it's someone's first or second book or movie or TV show or streaming series, and in this case it's Ben Stiller, you want to kind of pass on some information metaphorically, allegorically, and all the other methods to the audience to say, like, hey man, it's kind of what I stumbled on. I can't tell you, because then people would look at me like I'm revealing secrets, but I could beat around the bush. One of the obvious things that you'll wonder about is when they're training the new girl on how to do their job, and they say, oh yeah, you got to look for the scary numbers.
Cat 1 numbers, for example, feel a certain way on sight. They'll be sort of disconcerting, scary.
Scary.
I know.
The scary numbers, those are the ones we got to collect and put into this little bin. And it kind of relates to the movie The Island, when they're all putting those pills inside of the tubes, and Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, says, "Hey, you guys ever wonder where these pills go?" And everyone's like, just put your head down and put the pills in the tube. Who cares where they go? They don't pay us to think about that. And so she's asking, like, what do these numbers actually represent? I think anybody at this point, maybe it'll be revealed as the episodes go on, but at this point it's like, all right, what is that? What is Ben Stiller trying to say? I don't know what he's trying to say. It may get explained later on, but after 2 episodes, and the episodes kind of like, they feel like long because they want you to feel what it's like, because it's all about time. But the long part is great. There's nothing bad about it. It's not like it's, oh man, this thing drags on. It's intended to. Everything is intentional. But as far as the scary numbers, you watch these people at work. It's only like 4 people and they're in this office, and you wonder, where the heck is everybody else? And you wonder what they actually do for their job. And then you start to think about everything you've seen in the workplace over 20 years. If you had the opportunity to go around to all different departments and see what other people do, and you wonder, what are these, certain occupations and job titles, you wonder, what in the heck do they do for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 40 hours a week? You couldn't possibly be doing Excel spreadsheets for 40 hours a week. I mean, maybe you can. I've never had that job, so maybe there really is 40 hours a week examining Excel spreadsheets. But in this case, they're not looking at spreadsheets. They're just looking at numbers that are kind of in like a matrix. Not really a matrix, but just like columns. And at this point, I think what that represents is just the preposterousness of the occupations of people that work in offices. What do they actually do all day? They're just looking at numbers on spreadsheets. How much analysis can there possibly be? Now, for certain things, yeah, like stock trading, you're always looking at balance sheets and you're always looking at accounting, all kinds of different metrics for that. Other things to look at is to see how the office workers all look forward to ridiculous things, such as the printing on the next brochure that comes out from the company, or to win these like silly little rubber wristbands, or the different prizes that you get, the different incentives that are offered. Not monetary incentives, not even like glamorous things you might want to put in your house, but really stupid little incentives that have no value at all. It's not even something that you actually would want. But most importantly, what I got out of this was realizing that secrecy, as JFK said, is repugnant in a free and open society. And there's so much secrecy that goes on in life. It's not just like the government keeping secrets from you. Even at a business, things are kept secret to almost create this like cult and mystique, such as, like there's a scene early on in the show, Mr. Scott, could you come in here, please? And the other employees are like, I wonder what Mr. Scott's being called in for.
Good morning, macro data refinement.
Hi, Mr. Milchek.
Mark, could I have a word?
And then they have this private conversations, and then you realize this guy is probably given different information to each of the employees individually, so each of them feels like they have some kind of secret piece of the bigger picture. And really it's just nonsense being presented to everybody to make them feel special, to make them feel like they're in on something. And then everybody keeps secrets from each other. I don't want you to tell anybody about this, okay? You got to swear to secrecy. And so here we are in this world where all these ridiculous, preposterous secrets, and then you have other situations of people keeping secrets of information that could liberate and advance mankind. Can you imagine holding on to that information and thinking you're so special and I got this little secret about what reality is and I'm not going to tell anybody. And so you hold on to this secret and you limit the experience of everybody else on the planet just so you can feel special because you got a little bitty secret.
Yeah, I'm in the corporate archives division, so.
Oh, so you know all the dirty secrets.
Not really.
Well, Mark's work is sensitive enough as to require the severance procedure.
And then, of course, you have the people that create intentionally complicated situations in order for job security. Security through obscurity. And it's not just with like technological stuff or engineering, it's done with legal. I've talked about this. Everything you look at that's occupational, they intentionally obfuscate, confuse, obscure information so that only the people in the know are in the know and everybody else has to pay for the expertise, for something that's not even necessarily complicated. It was intentionally made complicated, or that you need the special cipher or the special key in order to unlock the blatantly obvious information, like a website. All right, I've just talked a lot about Severance episodes 1 and 2, and I really didn't talk about the episodes. I just wanted to advertise it. So let you know that this is a question reality show. Reality is not what you think it is show. They get these implants put in the backs of their heads that is what makes them forget, I guess, and it's also probably like a tracking device, and they're not allowed to bring any information outside. Like they can't write notes to give themselves hints and clues. Oh, big part. So because they all go through this procedure, everybody on the outside assumes like, oh wow, you must have some kind of really important occupation on the inside there. You guys must be doing some real secret stuff. And then the people that have these jobs are like, yeah, you know, I work in the, I forgot what the forensic, it had some fancy sounding name, but they don't do anything. They go to this office cube area and they sit around all day and move numbers into trash bins on the computer screen. But they feel all prestigious because it's so secretive. Everything is secretive. Ooh, who works in the government? Who works in the top floor of the corporation? Everything is kept secret to create these illusions of importance, and everything is nonsense. Now, somebody out there, hopefully somebody out there knows where the door is to escape this whole entire lunacy world that we're in. They might know where the door is. They might know where the corporate of Westworld is. But the rest of us are stuck in here with limited information as to what the heck our existence is all about. For those of you that follow black goo in movies, there's a black goo in this show. John Turturro, the Jesus, experiences the black goo. I didn't really talk about Severance. I'm advertising it. Let me know if you've seen the show and what you think about episodes 1 and 2, and what you think some of these different. I probably missed a bunch of different things. So whatever you saw in there and however you interpreted it, let me know in the comments. See you next time.